What's cracking, people? It's your man, Cousin T, aka the Alpha Wingman, representing high-level technicians, operating globally, and beyond. So listen, today I wanted to discuss a topic that has been floating around in a lot of spaces lately, and it really comes back to uh, one of the fundamental sort of observations that we make in this space, and that observation is about beauty. Now, in a video that I posted to Patreon, I go over what the true complement and the true exchange, what's at the core of the exchange between the male-female dynamic. For men, we exchange our value for a woman's beauty. But what really goes into that beauty is what I want to discuss today. And I've made plenty of videos, and other creators within this space have made videos that touch on various aspects of what we men, and more specifically, more to the point, would be mature men, experienced men, men who have had the time to be introspective and to discuss and vet and work out the language of how to describe what it is we're discussing. So when I say beauty, this is what I mean. The first aspect of beauty, the beauty that men desire, is of course the aesthetic beauty, and that is personified in the SMV scale. Now, obviously, that is relative, and when we give our sort of personal opinions about that, it's a subjective thing, or we're using a general or broad sort of popularized version of women who represent certain SMV aesthetics. Okay, so that's the first aspect of type of beauty that men desire. The second would be social IQ and emotional IQ. Now, for me, I label that as where a woman would fall within the Fae or the female group hierarchy. This is because observing how a woman situates herself within the social vehicle of a female group tells you a lot about how she interacts with women, and not only women who are her contemporaries, but what she sees as her currency within those spaces, how she looks to move around and to navigate the social landscape. Those are cues that speak to her social IQ, but also how she treats the men that encounter the female group hierarchy is indicative of how emotionally intelligent she is. And as I've exemplified in videos that I've produced on this specific subject, the degree to which a woman is able to command a presence, when she's interacting with both other women and men, speaks to her level of influence within that emotional IQ spectrum. So those are the first two. The aesthetic beauty is what we as men initially look for. The second, and this requires some maturity and some time to observe, would be where a woman ranks within the female group hierarchy. Now, the third is actually the most powerful aspect of how we as men behold the beauty of a woman, and that is her octane grade. Shout out to the Master Teacher BGS Ipmore for presenting this particular scale for us. But basically, a woman's or a man's octane grade is the sort of modernized equivalent of their social class. And when we talk about what a person is attracted to, what they desire, it really comes down to familiarity of the tribe. And so a person's class stature is at the core of what they value, is at the core of what they see in a counterpart, is at the core of what is familiar to a person, man or woman. Now, let's look at the other side of this. From the perspective of a man, when we try to consider what a woman craves and desires at her core, and let's be clear, you're taking this from the perspective of someone who, for a period of time, would present this masculine ideal, my aesthetic, my performance, the fantasy component to what a man could be to women. And let me tell you this, it did not matter in those spaces in that moment. It did not matter about a woman desiring more in terms of material possessions, getting more things. It did not matter about how much money I had or my net worth or things of that nature. The women didn't want luxury in that setting. They certainly did not desire fame in the setting of scenes of exotic entertainment. As a matter of fact, the women were inspired to reach into their purses, to reach into their wealth, to reach into their monetary value, and to pay for the experience of being in the presence of a man who represents a masculine aesthetic, a man who represents, depending on the performer, that which touches them at their primal core. Because here's the thing, a woman values the exchange between a man who can show her how beautiful she is. I'll slow it down and I'll say it again. A woman values not only being in the presence of, but exchanging value for value with a man who has the ability, who has the maturity, who has the knowledge, who has the insight to show her how beautiful she is. There's no amount of fame, luxury, money, or excess that can replace that. And that, gentlemen, is what beauty is from the position of a man who is on the path of masculine mastery. Now, how that translates in the space of a relationship is that she will be called to loyalty to this man. She will be called to the quote unquote duty of the maintenance of the relationship. You call the dynamic of whatever relationship that is and how that'll look for you and your personal situation. But what tethers a woman's loyalty and duty to a man who has the ability to show her beauty? Okay, we're not talking about externally imposed beauty standards, because that's shifting, right? But we're talking about her personal, specific, individual beauty in the eye of you, the beholder, right? And your ability to communicate that and to articulate the expected exchange of value over the course of the relationship should be. But first, you need to be able to identify those core value exchanges. And as I always say, when I'm on the subject of relationships, and I'm talking about something that's more than just a one night stand, something that's more than just a vacation stay, or if she's high on your roster, even at the highest point of committed relationship status, I always put these three things out, as some core tenets of what her value can and should be from the perspective of a masculine master. The first is home economics, her ability to maintain a proper living space that's conducive, to comfort, that's conducive to peace, that's conducive to balance. The second thing is her ability to be an event planner. Gentlemen, there's absolutely no way, okay, with few exception, that you're able to remember everybody's birthday, anniversary that's coming up. Okay, your third cousin's on your mother's side, when the next cookout is coming on, whose celebration of transition is coming up, a memorial, and all these other things. But women have this innate ability to crystallize those dates and plan appropriately. That this speaks to their social IQ and their emotional IQ, being able to manage people. That's why the majority of human resource departments are made up of savvy women. And third, and most importantly, and this goes back to the octane conversation, the octane scale conversation, is her ability to maintain your cultural calendar. And in some other videos, I'll further break down what the cultural calendar is, but simply put, it is the 365-day period of your cultural value system. Okay, so for example, at the time of me producing this video, we're in the Memorial Day season within the United States. Now, Memorial Day is a holiday that Black Americans established post-Civil War. Okay, so that's a part of our cultural calendar. It's the kickoff to the cookout season. And so for those who observe that and who uphold that value point in our cultural calendar throughout the year, that's important to us. And so obviously that varies by ethnic background, religion, where you are, what you've assimilated into. But at the end of the day, finding a woman who has cultural values in common only further facilitates the ability to have loyalty and duty to the relationship. So at the end of the day, I wanted to leave that with you gentlemen as some food for thought in terms of how a masculine master views feminine beauty. Let me know your thoughts and opinions and your experience on this particular subject in the comments down below. And as always, this is your man Cousin T, aka the Alpha Wingman, saying stay sharp and mission focused. Later.